Mind over matter now. Now, it's something we've spoken about, well, a number of times over the last couple of years, and you've explained about your mind coaching. Now you can take that explanation onto a new level today, because you brought your mind coach Linda Keane in with you. Linda, would you like to come in? How would you explain the dynamics of what you've tried to implement into Archie's sporting programme?
Well, maybe I can give you a little bit of background to it, and you're going to know all about this, because there was a boxer called Steve Collins.
Yes.
The super middleweight champion, I believe, 1995, beat Chris Eubank.
Nigel Benn.
Well, Chris Eubank was the one that first brought this to prominence, the first fight with Eubank. And with 4 weeks to go before that fight, he was mind trained, by a very, very good mind trainer called Dr. Tony Quinn. And within 4 weeks, he turned Collins around to believe with absolute certainty that he would beat Eubank. Now, if you remember, Eubank was undefeated in 43 fights over 10 years. And in comes this Irishman who hadn't boxed in 10 months, who actually wasn't very well at the time, and in 4 weeks got turned around to believe with absolute certainty that he would beat this man.
Just to interrupt, weren't the press stories going around at the time suggesting that Collins was undergoing hypnotherapy or hypnosis, something like that?
Well, and as he said, well, you can call it whatever you like, but it goes a lot deeper than that. And then there's a certain amount of that going on, okay? So what happened was 21 years ago, I worked with Tony Quinn, myself, and got the inside story of how he worked with Steve Collins. And I thought, wow, this is just amazing, really amazing. And it was basically a model of how you train a sportsman to literally win a championship, win whatever they're setting their goals
invincible.
For. To be invincible. Exactly that. So then Archie and I met, how long ago is it now? How old
just
were you?
before I turned pro, wasn't it? So about 4 years ago now.
Yeah, about 4 years ago. And I was giving a talk in a gym in Sittingbourne. And Archie was there, one of the kids on the benches, listening to me talk. But the difference with him to all the other kids that were sitting there was he was locked on to every word I said. He was giving me pure attention. And I just thought to myself then, I'd love to work with him.
Was he a blank canvas for you to work with as well?
Oh, it was, yeah, totally. But he was like a sponge. He took on everything. And it was the pure attention. And that's the difference with him and most other fighters. They don't have the level of concentration that he has. So since then, we've worked together. We work on programs together, which go into the unconscious mind. So if you want to call it hypnosis, you can call it whatever you like. I call it what Tony Quinn says, it's unconscious attention. It's when all of the mind is open, the programs go in at a very deep level, and he literally comes out of the program. So he listens to it every day, daily, and then he's literally coming out of the program.
Is there any form of, I don't know the correct terminology, but any form of trance employed to when you're imparting this program?
Deep relaxation is what I would call it. You can call it whatever you like. I mean, I'm an NLP practitioner. I can do hypnosis. What I do with Archie is way beyond that, though. The same as Tony did with Steve. It was way beyond that. So when Steve said, when he was asked if he was hypnotised, he said, well, you could call it hypnosis, but it's more than that. Because it's understanding that you're using the whole of your mind. You see, most people are very conscious-minded. They're just using part of the mind. Whereas the unconscious mind is 6/7 of the mind. Conscious mind is only 1/7. So we're accessing all of his mind, and that's what makes the difference.
How much of the mechanics of what you're planting into Archie can you actually reveal, or some sort of example or something, just to give us an idea?
Maybe okay. I won the belt before I even boxed Woodstock, maybe, I don't know.
Well, he did, he won it before he boxed him.
I mean, obviously, does that suggest that visualisation plays a big part in what you do?
Yeah, of course, visualisation.
And it's tweaking with his mind a little bit, okay? So we can make the opponent, you wouldn't be able to see it, but he can see it. The opponent is moving slower.
Yeah.
He's smaller. We get him to shrink the opponent.
Seeing things coming?
Yeah, shots, everything.
Targets are bigger.
But the thing is, you can't just wake up one day and go, oh, do you know what, I'm going to imagine this and it's going to happen, because it's how you train your brain to do it, how you train your mind to do it. It's very, well, technical, would you say?
Well, it is. You have to understand. You see,
You have
he
to
understands how his
understand, yeah.
mind works first and foremost. If you don't know how your mind works, the whole thing is irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, exactly that.
You know, if I said to, I don't know, let's say I got Leon Woodstock and said to him, okay, you're going to win this fight, and you're going to see your next opponent. He's smaller, darker, duller. He's going to move very slowly. You're going to be quicker.
Doesn't mean it'll work for him. Yeah.
It may not work for him, because if he hasn't got the attention to take on the program, it won't work.
But obviously, this is something you've done over a lengthy period of time.
Yeah.
Now, so you're obviously going a lot deeper. I mean, supposing, like you say, if you started working with Leon, you're not going to turn things around in 3 weeks or something, are you?
No, definitely not.
No.
Like I say, we've been at it for 4 years and I'm learning. Like, we've done another program, we've done more work today, and every single time I do it, I'm learning more and more and more. And do you know what? It surprises me how much the mind, how it works. It's just crazy, really, and how much it does work. Hey.
And it affects every area of your life, and I think Archie has discovered this. You know, we've been talking a lot about mental health awareness, which I think he's probably talked to you about, because he now understands that, you know, if you're using your mind in the right way, really, there's no such thing as depression, because depression is just a mass of negative thinking. So if you can ensure that you're totally aware of what your thoughts are coming at you, you know, what they are they good, are they bad, are they flowing, or are you getting stuck in thought?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it'd be great to work with Tyson, because obviously after what Tyson's come back from, and
we'd love to talk to him
and seeing what he does. You know what I mean? Because the man is doing. It's like what you were saying earlier. He obviously knows what he's. How can I word it about?
Well, he knows about depression. He's been there.
He's been there. He's living
that.
the proof. Yeah.
And he's got through it. Now, I'd love to talk to him to say, okay, but do you know how to make sure you never have that happen again?
Well, I think he sees it as staying active through his boxing and the fitness levels and everything else.
Which is part of it,
and uses that to keep him in a routine.
Yeah.
He says routines are very important to him.
Yeah, routine.
But look at somebody like Richie Hatton, who retired and got depressed. You've got Flintoff, the cricketer. They all get depressed. They retire and get depressed.
Active,
you can't do that.
Complete different change of lifestyle.
Yes, but you have to set yourself up for that, and that's all to do with how you use your mind.
Of course.
One thing I can say, I mean, particularly about Archie, is each time I've seen him over the last couple of years, he seems to have this real deep conviction in everything he says, and what he says, he believes it so totally and utterly, and you think, whoa, you know, and also there's a calmness about him as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, is that all interrelated, you would say?
Absolutely. And funnily enough, it was something I was talking to him today. I want him to relax even more. He's still a bit hyper, still gets a bit sort of, I want all that just totally relaxed. Just really going with the flow, be very much doing one thing at a time, then going to the next. You know, this multitasking stuff doesn't work. It taxes the brain, it causes stress. This is why people are stressed, because they're in one place and they're thinking about being in somewhere else. Have you been there yourself?
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's what I mean. Honestly,
so you can
phenomenal.
relate to it, you see, but people are doing this to an extreme level.
Yeah,
you know,
which
they've
is
got all this
causing the
stress
problems.
going on.
Right, I'm going to ask one quirky question to finish my stupid question of the day. Would it be useful for you to ever go in the corner of one of Archie's fights?
Oh, I'd love to. I don't think I'd be allowed to.
No, I'm saying you wouldn't be allowed to. But, you know, I know you'd love to, but would you be able to
I'd love to.
contribute,
Oh,
you know?
gosh,
Well,
yeah.
Would you see things from ringside and
Yeah.
you sort of think, I wish I could talk to him
Yes,
now?
yes. And I was watching the Woodstock fight, and I was, you know, I mean, I was screaming from where I was and shouting at him. And funny enough, I think he heard one of
But
them. He did a body shot as I screamed it, so I think it might have got through.
But the thing is, I think working with Linda in the corner wouldn't be so much for what she can see. It'd be more like the recovery.
I'd just be getting into re-energise, bring the energy up.
And bringing the energy up, because that's what it is. Your body's full of energy and it's getting it brought up. And like I say, I told you before, from the Woodstock fight, I know I did look a bit tired towards the end, but when I was coming back to the corners, I was definitely re-energising.
But that's all in this programme. That's all built into the programme.
I said it was the last question, I've got one more. Is there any sort of crisis management built into what you're doing? I know, like, we'd like to think everything's going to go swimmingly, but, you know, sport is sport and things don't always go your way. You get caught,
get
Is
injured.
there a sort of a crisis management built into what you're doing? In terms of recovering from something that might go wrong in a fight?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I don't anticipate it happening anyway.
No, exactly that, 100%. Like you say, when I didn't ever think I'd get injured. I got injured, and look, we crossed that bridge, and now we're
That
over
wasn't
it.
in a
And
fight, though.
no, definitely not in fight, 100%. Look, listen, that I can't see that happening. But what I'm saying is, outside the ring, didn't think I'd ever get injured. Got injured, and you either go two ways. You can either get depressed and upset about it, and not, or come back stronger. And I believe we've come back even stronger.
Archie, thank you very much.
No, lovely, thanks very
Linda,
much.
thank you very much.
Nice
Very
to meet you.
interesting.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Cheers, mate.
Excellent.